Hi everybody, I'm Jenn Tuschong with Allegory Gallery and JNT Creations in Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Thanks for tuning in today. I have another fun Czech glass earring tutorial for us to do today. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so let's go over some useful tools. We've got the stub nose Xeron, got the very fine point Xeron. You're going to need a needle nose round plier, a bent nose, very handy, the multi-tier bail maker. We are going to use the big one and we're going to use this one. And then we need our flush cutters, flat nose. And that's about it, folks. So we are using 20 gauge vintage bronze wire, but feel free to use whatever color you want. Just keep it in the 20 gauge range. So I have pre-cut 6 inches of the wire, and then this is 2.5 inches of the wire. These are going to be our ear wires. These are going to be the body. And then we have 6 ball pins, 26 6/0s. There are 6, what is that? That's a 6mm. It's not a melon. What's that? That's the bronze cut. It's a Picasso Czech glass. Then we have 2, what are those? Those are 2 bead caps and 2, these are 3mm. You can go down to 2 if you wanted. We've got some flat washers. There's 6 of those. And that's about it for ingredients. So let's get started. Again, this is 6 inches of the 20 gauge wire. I have already smoothed it out for time purposes. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to measure about 2 inches from the end, and that's where we're going to make our bend. Doesn't have to be exact, but it helps. So let's do our 90 degrees. Let's go ahead and do that on both of them. As I move everything. All right, so using our multi-tier veil maker, we're going to use this biggest one. And on the longer end, we are going to make a very large loop. So same thing, around, try to keep it straight. Bend it all the way back around until you come across that straight part. Do the same on the other side. So you work your earrings as close to twins as possible. Do each step together before you move on to the next step. Okay. I don't know why I took that off the tool, because the next step requires you to keep that on the tool. It's going to be a little bit tricky. You want to give that working wire a quick twist by hand. Keep it on the tool, because if you don't, you're going to lose your circle. This is a very soft wire. So I did my first 2 coils on the tool. I'm going to grab it with the flat, the elbows there. Give that a squeeze. It's 20 gauge wire, so you don't have to manhandle it. And that left hand is only there to steady it. Keep that in line. Okay, straighten everything out. Go ahead and give that one more turn. We always keep the round on the mandrel when we're twisting the coil, because as you twist that coil, it is going to take the material from down here and make it smaller. Okay, so I did 3 coils around that one, and I'm gonna flatten that out again. It doesn't need to be so lumpy. Putting this one back on the tool now. And again, going around by hand. If you need a little bit more oomph, by all means use your tool. Just do not take it off the mandrel. And I'm just, as I go with each coil, I'm straightening them out and squeezing them down towards the circle. And normally with earrings, when you do twists and stuff, you want to go in opposite directions so that one earring is facing, so basically so your design faces the same direction, even though they're in 2 different ears. But in this case, you want this wire to be on top. And it won't be if you try to do that in 2 different directions. It'll loop over the one side and it will just not lay right. So we don't want to do that. Anywho, we have our 2 circles here. Let's go ahead and get them out of the way. Okay, and we just want to flatten these out, just make them nice. I'm just very gently squeezing that with the flat nose. Okay, now here comes the fun part. We're going to make nice little swirls. So at one end, the very, very end, with your round nose pliers, you are going to make a tight little curl. Let's close that up a little bit more. Okay, and this is where I start using the bent nose to make my swirl. You want to keep each coil of that swirl nice and tight against the last layer you did. We're just curling it up like a snail. Okay, and when you get to the middle, just gonna give that a little squish until it looks like that. Keep it centered. All right. Now repeat on the other side. So little tight curl to get it started. Use the flats to close it up tight. And then our bent nose. If you notice you have too much space at all, correct it before you move on to the next layer. Because if you do it after, it will be too late. Now here's a little note. If you do want to change up your swirl, get a different look, if you're going to make another set of earrings, you could leave that swirl open a little bit more so it's not a closed tight swirl. That'll give you a little different look. You can make it smaller. So instead of 2 inches, instead of 2 inches, go like an inch, and that swirl will be much smaller. Now this little bugger's not gonna lay quite as flat for me, so I'm gonna get in there and try to squeeze it again. Just get it centered. Oh, that one just didn't want to go as easily as the first one that did it. Okay. They're very similar. They're not identical, but you know what? No one's going to be able to tell. Okay. So these are technically a fancy head pin now. So you could leave them like this, or what we did was that's where we hang our dangles. It's a very fancy head pin. So let's load them up now. First thing we're going to do is drop our, I don't know why I keep drawing a blank on these, our bead caps. But we are not going to put our bead caps so that you can see them. We're going to put them like little bowls so that they cradle this Picasso bead. And we drop it down. Super cute. And then these fancy little 3mm beads. My hands are fumbly today. I don't know why. Okay, so isn't that super cute? I love it. let's skip doing the tops on those for now and load up all of our head pins. 2 of them, the middle ones, are going to be different, but the 4 side supporting ones are going to be the same. So first thing we drop are flat washers, and these are itty bitty flat washers. And we want the 6mm beads. It's a struggle, yeah. This is why we always pack extras. Okay, now let's load up our Picasso seed beads, or whatever 6 O's you choose. I'm going to keep those 2 for the center ones, because I did notice that the blue matches better. And now our red. Yellow next. No, we do the black ones next. So this is a Picasso strand that I got many ages ago, and it had all different colors on there, and the black and the red ones actually have a really cool square cut to them. So they're not a usual 6-0, but they're so pretty. Alrighty, we have those all loaded up. Now let's do our 2 center supports. Drop those blue ones down. Last 2 blues. Then we're going to drop our melons, or whatever size 8 bead you decide to use, 8mm. And I'm going blue again. The reds. The black. And the yellow. And then our last 2 washers. There we go. Let's move on to our ear wires so that they'll be ready to go when we are ready to load our earrings up. I just nipped the ends of those with the flush cutters just to make sure that they didn't have a burr on the end of them. So the first thing we do to make our ear wires, I'm going to do the first couple of steps together so that I know that the measurements are somewhat similar. So that's about, a half an inch, maybe an inch. If y'all want to be precise, let's do this. All right, so it's like 3/4, not quite an inch. I'm going to do a 90-degree bend. I'm going to go around that first small, tiny little and then I'm going to take it off the tool and we're going to have these weird cotter pin looking things. So now one at a time, let's put them back on the tool. Hopefully this will focus. Bring it around and create an eye pin. Do the same on the other side. And we are out of focus. Let's just raise our camera up just a squinch. There we go, that's better, huh? Alrighty, so we have our two eyes. I'm taking my very fine point zircons and then the blunt ones. And I'm going to do as many coils as I can. Oop, I am not. And you know why I'm not? Because we haven't made the earring yet. And we need to load that up on the top of the earring before we can close that loop. All right, so let's close our loops now. Because our ear wires are going to go this way, we need to make sure that our loop goes in the same direction as this. So give yourself about enough space to do about 3 coils at the top of that bead. Do your 90-degree bend. Do your 90-degree bend. And I'm still going to use the smallest tier on this. Do that loop. Repeat on the other side. And remove. And I'm going to do 3 coils at the top. Don't worry if you wind up having to put in 4. We're only 2. Just work with it, make up for it. And then because I like that double coiled look, we're going to work it back up. Straighten everything out. Clip your little end off if you have any left. And tuck it in. Okay, so Go ahead and do any adjustments you need to make to get all those little critters straight in line. There. Do the same on the other side. Nip off your little end and tuck it in. Now we're ready to put them on the start of our ear wire here. So open that loop just a little bit, enough. Put your earrings in. Again, I'm using the super precise long needle nose. Make a couple of coils here till you run out of wire. Okay. 90-degree bend. And then we're going to use number 5. I'm going to get that into the crook there. Go up and around. Take your tool and bring that just to that eye in the ear wire. Take your flat nose and you're just going to give that a slight bend and cut off your excess. Super cute, super secure. That is not coming off of there. Straighten everything out. Repeat on the other side. "90 degrees, right at the top of that last coil. Number 5 on the bail maker. And go until you meet the eye on the other side. Give it a little bend and snip off the little extra. There you go. Now we're just going to add our little dangly doos and we'll be done. So on all of them, go ahead and give yourself enough space to do about 3 coils. Do that 90-degree bend. I do that in an assembly line so that I'm not picking up and putting down different tools. I'm picking up and putting down the same tool only once on each one. Okay. For precision's sake, if you want, go ahead and use that multi-tool again and use the first little square. Do your loops. Don't close them yet because you want to put them on your earring. Now you can close each one with 3 loops. Three coils, 3 loops. Then work your way back up and just use all of that wire so you don't have to cut anything off. If you find it gets a little hard at the end, switch your tools up, get your bent nose in there. These are 21 gauge ball pens, so they're super soft. Don't need to use a lot of force with them either. The next one that's going to go on is our center, the one with the melon on it. I am fumbly today. I apologize. Work your way back up. When it starts getting tight or you start running out of space, you might need to take a little nip off. Because we are not robots. Sometimes things are a little bigger, a little smaller. They don't always come out exactly the same when you do it by hand. And that's okay. Okay. And then our last guy here. Pro tip, get that first coil really straight, because that will set the precedence for the rest of them. If that first one is crooked, they will all be crooked. Tuck your end in. And voila, this guy is done. And do the same on the other one. This little bugger just keeps wanting to turn on me. So you know what? So we settle that. Voila. Can't fight me anymore. Okay. One more. And tuck in that end. Straighten anything out that needs straightening, but I think because I like to do it as we go, I think we're all pretty straight. There you have it. Another darling little boho boho pair of earrings with Czech glass. Aren't they adorable? Thank you so much for tuning in again today. I hope you had a lot of fun. I know I did. I would love to see what y'all have created, so please feel free to post on Allegory Gallery Design Challenges on Facebook. And please like, subscribe, and share away. Thank you so much. Y'all have fun.